Right. For a closer look at the decisions of the ECOWAS leaders, we have been joined from our Lagos studios by Dr. Joshua Bolarinwa, Head, Division of Security and Strategic Studies at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight. This meeting, extraordinary meeting that was expected today, has come and gone. Decisions taken. What do you make of the decision to have a standby military force immediately as ordered by ECOWAS? And what are the implications of that?
Those decisions are clear indications that ECOWAS is on the right path. ECOWAS is doing what is expected of that sub-regional organization. ECOWAS is trying to live up to expectations, and ECOWAS is trying to restore constitutional government, restore order and orderliness in Niger Republic, and also to send signals to not just Niger Republic, but also to Mali, Burkina Faso, and also to deter others in form of deterrence of any other ECOWAS or African countries that we want to go in the line of Niger Republic. In another way, it is expected to also, in another way, try to let Niger Republic understand that in as much as ECOWAS understand the internal wranglings or issues within Niger Republic and other problems they might have been facing, at the same time, Niger Republic should try to live up to expectations of all its obligations in ECOWAS, because this same Niger Republic has alluded and accepted to live under democratic dispensation. They have signed all treaties, all protocols, all frameworks that will ensure democratic governance in all ECOWAS member states, in which Niger is part of that ECOWAS decision and obligations. So the decision by the ECOWAS heads of government and states today also is a signal that ECOWAS is alive, ECOWAS is doing well, and ECOWAS is the right decision. And at the same time, while they are trying to say, okay, the ECOWAS standby force should be on guard and even approved the deployment, is also to send a very strong signal that ECOWAS is not weak, ECOWAS is active, and ECOWAS is ready to do what is right. In as much as ECOWAS, even as part of their decisions they made today, that they are ready to also support Niger in very peaceful democratic restoration of democratic order and government in Niger. So at the same time, they are ready to do the right thing. So ECOWAS is in the right path.
Dr. Bolarinwa, so ECOWAS, as far as you're concerned, ECOWAS is on the right path. Speak to us about the collateral damage that's possible if there is an invasion by ECOWAS into Niger.
Of course, ECOWAS is aware that using force on Niger is going to be the last resort. While that is recognized that ECOWAS will not just move in with its troops or its standby force instantly, while ECOWAS is also exploring all diplomatic avenues, all diplomatic opportunities available. Although, even in the past 2 weeks, ECOWAS and its chairman, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had done everything possible using all diplomatic machinery on board, sending 2 different diplomatic troops or sending diplomatic envoys to Niger. It has not really achieved. while ECOWAS is still committed to diplomatic resolution of Nigerian issues or crisis, ECOWAS has put the ECOWAS standby force on alert and make them ready for deployment, instant deployment, when all diplomatic avenues, all diplomatic opportunities available that they are using, if it fails, then using force, using threats, and instant deployment of the ECOWAS standby force becomes the last resort. So ECOWAS is still committed to peaceful resolution of the crisis in Niger. ECOWAS is ready to identify with Niger. So Niger should also do what is right on its part.
Côte d'Ivoire's President Alassane Ouattara has described the coup plotters as terrorists that should be dealt with as such. Now, the junta is already threatening, warning ECOWAS and threatening to kill the deposed President Bazom. How would you react to that, especially when you consider again that the junta are already putting in place some kind of structure, 21 ministers in place, as well as an interim prime minister? What do you make of all these moves?
It is all diplomatic. It is all an opportunity to make the people accept and to make the international community accept what the junta in Niger is trying to do. They know that not just Nigeria, not just ECOWAS, and not just the international community will allow for the ruling military junta to continue to be in Niger without restoring democratic government led by deposed President Bazom. But in as much as they have tried to put in place a structure that has an interim prime minister and try to roll out some democratic activities, at the same time, ECOWAS has decided that the status quo should be returned to. In other words, the security and lives of President Bazom and his family should be guaranteed, and at the same time should be restored. And that is when they will be able to recognize whatever that is happening in the Niger Republic. So what ECOWAS wants is that the life of President Bazom, the lives of the family or the members of family of President Bazom is a sure guarantee under this military junta. So nothing must happen to the deposed president, nothing must happen to any member of his family. So they are under their protection. If anything happens to them, ECOWAS will react. The international community will react. And that's why ECOWAS has also, in its own resolutions today, that the African Union and even the United Nations and the entire international community should accept the ECOWAS resolutions in resolving amicably, peacefully, the crisis in the Niger Republic.
Okay, Dr. Bolarinwa, let's now look at the financial implications of the ECOWAS standby force. What are the funding implications?
A lot of implications will come with that. You know, it's a good effort that ECOWAS and particularly President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered freezing and financial sanctions on all entities and particularly all individuals that are involved in the Nigerian coup. So at the same time, whatever they have outside Niger, especially within ECOWAS countries, particularly in Nigeria, they are frozen all their assets, they are frozen all their incomes, they are frozen all their savings or whatever money they have in Nigeria or any other ECOWAS countries and beyond. And that's why the Nigerian Central Bank has been instructed that they are directly targeted. All entities supporting the ruling military junta in Niger and all individuals supporting them. It goes a long way because whatever that strengthens them financially, whatever that helps them to an extent to have done all of these things, that will be reduced. That will also weaken the ruling military junta in Niger. So it's a very good decision in the right direction that ECOWAS and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken. That will weaken them, that will destabilize them, that will also put them in a very disorganized position, and that will force them to come and negotiate. That will force them to at least step down in some of their decisions they have made presently.
That's on the one hand, but in the event that it does come to a war, who exactly is going to bear the cost? I mean, wars do cost some. Even the deployment itself, who's going to bear the cost?
We hope that everything that will happen over Niger will not result into an outright war, whereby ECOWAS will eventually activate instant deployment of its standby force in Niger to restore constitutional order. We hope that will not happen. But it is also a necessity that the ECOWAS standby force is put on alert as ECOWAS has decided today. But beyond that, it is known that if the ECOWAS standby force is instantly deployed, a majority of the economic burden, financial burden, the cost and the expenses of the deployment will be totally borne by Nigeria. But I know at the same time, we have a very strong government. We have an intelligent government in Nigeria presently who understand the implication of the deployment. So I know presently the Nigerian government will assess the pros and the cons of the deployment, in as much as the deployment of ECOWAS standby force will not be a sole decision of Nigeria. It is a decision by the ECOWAS. And Nigeria is not the only country in ECOWAS. So it is believed that if ECOWAS has decided to deploy its standby force to restore constitutional order in Niger, it means that all ECOWAS countries must be available, must be ready, and must be committed, and more importantly, should show political will in supporting the deployment of ECOWAS standby force in Niger.
Thank you,
so
Dr.
I
Joshua.
believe that
Thank you. Dr. Joshua Bolarinwa, Head of Security and Strategic Studies at the NIIA, Nigeria Institute of International Affairs. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on Newsnight.